What's good, campers? Today we're doing a different type of video. This is me giving you tips from my opinion on placements on certain nodes for alliance wars. Now before we cover some of the key nodes that I'm going to try and advise you guys about, the number one thing that people need to do is make sure they bring the correct alliance wars defense. A lot of people just bring any champion, and that's not going to help your alliance. The main thing to take into consideration when you are doing alliance wars is try and make your 5 defensive champs the 5 champs that you hate fighting against the most yourself, because it's more than likely that if you don't like fighting against them, that 90% of the rest of the players that play this game ain't gonna like fighting against them. So you really need to, I know that obviously prestige is a big part of the game and whatnot, so at the moment everybody's trying to sort of rank up to benefit their prestige or whatnot, but try and, you know, when you get to a certain point, try and, when your prestige is looking good, try and rank some decent defensive champs to help out your alliance. Now the first node that we're going to look at is tower number 5, which is an unblockable special 1. What I would advise you to do is try and avoid putting science champs there, because a lot of people are going to be, a lot of lazy people anyway, are going to be trying to use Daredevil, and obviously if you put a science champ there, you're going to be giving them the class advantage. So try, if you can, try and be smart, maybe put in a mutant champ there, give them a disadvantage like Cyclops. Even though I personally don't use Cyclops because I feel like everybody that runs map 5 has got so much experience fighting him, but it doesn't mean that he won't still do well for you. Also, you can bring other champs like War Machine. War Machine's another good one. The Black Spidey's another good one. Yeah, there's a few decent options. You know, just try and think to yourself that 90% of the people are going to be using Daredevil. So what kind of champ can counter that or do well against Daredevil, or, you know, Daredevil's abilities won't do so well against? You know, try and sort of take that into consideration. And also, you don't want to be giving the enemy the class advantage. So so yeah, just take those sort of things into consideration. So the next node that we are going to cover is the tower number 11. Now this gives I think it's 40% physical resistance and 90% energy resistance, and it enhances the player's abilities by 20%. Here you want to put someone that can take damage, yeah, someone who can take a battering, yeah, for instance, and take into consideration that their abilities are going to be enhanced. So you've got people like, for instance, I would say Iron Man, or Superior Iron Man, or Hulkbuster, who armor up quite a lot. Colossus is another one who armors up quite a lot. That, with their abilities enhanced, they're going to armor up even more. People like Ultron, same thing. Someone like Rhino, he hasn't got armor up, but I think he's got thick skin or something where he can take quite a lot of damage. So putting him on here is going to basically just make him a tank. Who else can I use as an example? Ant-Man, for instance. Ant-Man's got the glancing ability. So with the glancing ability and enhanced his ability is going to make it. I know a lot of people don't like Ant-Man, but it's all about putting people on the right nodes. You know, so if you put Ant-Man on a node like this, he might do quite well, because with all the resistance as well as his abilities being enhanced, he's going to be able to take quite a lot of damage on a node like this one. You have to remember that if you make this fight as hard as you can, it will stop people from progressing throughout the middle of this map. And if they can't progress throughout this middle of this map, they can't unlock the nodes for the other fights on the outside. So ideally you want to make the middle part as hard as possible. So we got tower 18 now. This one is a thorns node. So this one speaks for itself really. You're going to get a lot of people using a skill champion, whether it be Black Widow, some people might try and use Elektra, Crossbones. You're going to get a skill champion. This node enhances armor up abilities. Do not put a, I would not advise you to put a champion that cannot armor up. It makes no sense. So the node is telling you, look, if you put a champ on here that has armor up, we will enhance that ability for them. Do that. Do that. I've seen too many officers put random people on this node, and I'm like, why is there a champ that can armor up? Like, I've put my Hulkbuster on this node before, and he gets kills. You know, it might not be much, but he gets kills. Do you know what I mean? Just make the most of the node within itself. You have to make the node work well or benefit the champion that you are placing on there. So any champ that's got armor up, put them on this node. Definitely. I won't go into detail with who. You guys have your champions, you know who has the armor up ability and you know who doesn't. Put them on here and take into consideration the class advantage against offensive champs that people will use on the thorn node. Yeah. Right, so the next one we're going to look at is there's a few thorn nodes on here, so you know, apply the same sort of logic to them all. The next one that we're going to look at is Unblockable Special 2. Again, a lot of people are going to use Daredevil. Now, the thing about Daredevil is Daredevil can only kind of evade, I think it's like projectiles. So if it's like an energy blast or beam or whatever, Daredevil can evade that. If it's a physical attack or of some sort, Daredevil doesn't automatically evade it. So I will use one example here, which is someone like Magneto. Daredevil cannot evade Magneto's Special 2. So he would be a good example to use. Someone like Venom, again, Daredevil cannot evade the first part. It's not an energy blast of any kind of sort. Another example is Rocket Raccoon. The first part of his second special is got nothing to do with an energy blast. So, you know, just take into consideration, don't have someone like Ultron who's gonna fire 2 blasts and Daredevil's just gonna be like, and then, do you know what I mean, job done. You're making it easy for them. Try and bring champions that are going to be difficult for Daredevil to fight against, because that's who a lot of people are going to use on this node. So yeah, just and also again, take into consideration the class advantage. Try and not to put a science champ on that node, because you know a lot of people are going to try and use Daredevil. So here we go over to the mini boss node. Now with this, well, I think one of the key things, this majorly boosts health and attack on here, but health is probably the key thing in case you're using weaker champs, and it's got Mystic Warden there. Now this means that if you have a champ like, for instance, Iron Man, who regenerates, and you've got a Doctor Strange or a Scarlet Witch who nullifies the regen, they can't do, well, they have a very, very small, tiny, teeny weeny chance of doing it on this node. So I would you have to put a champ on here that is difficult to kill. Yeah, whether it be someone like Wolverine or I don't know, Ultron, or the new Black Panther, or the OG Deadpool, the original Deadpool, not the X-Force one, the original Deadpool, Magic, Juggernaut, depending on if you got Mystic Dispersion. You know, those are the kind of champs that I would recommend for your mini boss nodes, because Wolverine is going to regen like crazy on this node. If you're dealing with people that can't necessarily deal with the regen of any of the Iron Man champs, they are going to regen. Ultron will regen like crazy. So those are the kind of champs that I would recommend for you guys to probably use on here. And then we're going to go over to the main boss node. Yeah, look, you can't stun them. They've got True Strike, cycles between physical and energy resistant. Now on this one here, I personally would advise you either put a champ on here who is going to who, regardless of what the enemy skill is, they're still going to take damage, i.e. someone like Magic, someone like Juggernaut, where they're a pain to fight if you can't stun them. Obviously you can't stun them on here. Someone like Nightcrawler or Spider-Man, again, they're a pain to fight if you can't stun them, and obviously if you can't stun them, the likelihood of them dying is going to be very high. So you know, those are the kind of champs that I will be putting on here. You can put your champs like Wolverine or Deadpool or whatnot on here, but if someone's got really good with like a Star-Lord, they're gonna wipe your boss out quickly. Just also bear in mind that these tips that I'm giving you guys, if you're up against a really skilled alliance who know how to fight, you know, you may not do so well. You know, I don't want you to think to yourself, oh, the tips that I've given you are gonna guarantee you guys a win, because if you're up against people that know how to use Black Widow or Star-Lord or etc., the chances are that they're gonna clear out a lot of your champs with minimal deaths. So but you know, the champs that I have advised will help you guys a lot. I would be very surprised if you took any of this advice and you didn't see a change in the amount of kills you guys got in your defense. So you know, at the end of the day, you just try it out. Alliance wars, you manage to get 2 to 3 wars in per week, so all you can do is try out different champs. You know, for officers, like, try out different champs, you know, like, just experiment a little bit, because once you find that formula that works for you, that's it. Do you know what I mean? You automatically know who you're going to put and where you're going to put them. If you want to see more nodes covered or whatnot, let me know in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.